Something that I am absolutely fascinated by is cyclical fitness trends. And 2024 was a really interesting year for fitness trends. We saw some interesting things. So I want to give you guys my opinion on the fitness trends we saw in 2024, which ones I think are here to stay and will continue to see in 2025, and some trends that I'm predicting based on being a fitness professional and spending a lot of times in the space that we will see a lot more of in 2025. In case you're new here, welcome back to my channel. I'm Mojo, a wellness and fitness enthusiast and also a fitness professional. So I literally live, breathe, sleep all things fitness. So I'm the perfect person to discuss the trends that we're seeing. So let's get into it. I took some notes because this list is kind of long. We're going to start with the 2024 trends. I'll tell you what they are. I'll tell you my personal experience with them, if I have any, and what are my thoughts. First in this list is in 2024, we really saw the rise of social fitness with run clubs exploding all over the country, and also things like Strava, which encourage you to exercise, but it's also a social media platform. In case you don't know, Strava is a running app. I've actually never used it because I'm not personally a runner, but from what I gather, you can add friends on it. You can see when your friends go on runs. It just makes it more fun and social to exercise and like hit milestones with your friends. Strava has really captured the market, and something that I think Nike and other apps have tried to do for years. People are hooked on Strava. People who aren't even really runners have it, and they did it in a way. I think it kind of almost gamified running a little bit too, where it made just running seem more fun. Like people were doing different designs with their Strava routes. So Strava was big. As far as the run club goes, I did not go to a single run club in 2024. I have had experience with run clubs. I have gone to run clubs in the past. This year, we saw them become like the new dating apps, which I do think we're at a point post pandemic where people are really looking for social connection, and they know they're interested in exercise and wellness, and like they can find like minded people in these places. So we definitely saw the run clubs explode. I am not confident the boom of the run clubs is something that we will see continue, but it was interesting to watch this year. Like, I don't see next year being a big run club year. I could see another social app. Like I said, Strava has kind of captured the market. Maybe another social wellness fitness app coming out next year. But I think run clubs have reached their peak where they got kind of cumbersome. Like a lot of people were creating run clubs but weren't really organizing them, and they were like not pacing them out well, and they weren't really structured well, and some of them were like too far on the dating spectrum. There's one here in LA where it has you introduce yourself and say if you're single and like you're supposed to meet other people. So that was interesting to watch, but I don't know if it's something that we're going to see grow in the way that we did in the last year in 2024. Next on this list, my personal favorite, this should have been number one, Pilates. Pilates definitely had a moment in 2024. I would say it really started to pick up in 2023, but 2024 is when everybody started talking about Pilates more. Everybody started trying out Pilates more. So Pilates definitely had a big moment where it's been growing in popularity. Because of that, unfortunately, a lot of two unfortunate things are happening because of the demand in Pilates. One, I think studios are going to continue to drive their price up. Now, I have a whole video on my TikTok account if you're curious on like why Pilates classes are so expensive, because there is a reason behind it. The training's expensive, the equipment's expensive. It's just one of those fitness modalities that has a really high overhead cost. But I do think studios are going to start to exploit that and start to drive the cost of their classes up. And I also think we're going to start to see a lot, and we saw this in 2024, a lot of studio owners who have no business opening a studio have no interest in Pilates, building community, in fitness, but just see it as something trendy, as a cash grab. We're going to see a lot more people unfit to be Pilates studio owners in the future. And I've talked about this a lot on my page. Pilates has this issue of this like mean girl energy. And I think a lot of that comes down to it becoming trendy and popular and people feeling like only a certain type of person can do it. So the popularity around Pilates concerns me a little as a Pilates lover and someone who wants to make Pilates more accessible to more people. But I do really believe in movement practice, and I think more people should try it. I love that we saw a lot more like a different demographic trying out Pilates this year, a lot more athletes trying out Pilates and talking about Pilates than we did in the past. But I just want it to remain accessible, and I don't want any more mean girls. Like there are too many. All these people were like for clout creating studios, Pilates studios, just because they want to say they own a Pilates studio. But it's like, do you really care about the movement practice? Anyway, so Pilates was definitely big in 2024. Number three on this list, the low impact heated classes. These really took off to the point that like it's hard to find low impact heated class that a low impact class that is not heated. Heated workouts literally took over. And I've taken core power once before, and it was several years ago. So like core power has been around for a while, but all of a sudden I don't even know what the source of the trend is. Like I know for Pilates, the big source of the trend was Lori Harvey's commentary around it, and a lot of celebrities, a lot more celebrities talking about Pilates. But I don't know where the heated classes, they just seem to come out of nowhere. Now, my issue with heated classes, and I do take them every now and then, people feel like they are more effective than other forms of exercise, and that is not true. It is something that is going to make you feel like you're exerting more, but oftentimes you are unable to do as much as you would if you were not in a heated class. For example, I know I can do a solid 10 push-ups. If I'm in a heated class and those push-ups are towards like the end of the heated class, I'm probably only going to do 3 because I'm like exhausted, but it's less from the actual workout being more effective. It's more from my body is working hard to cool it down, especially if you're doing the heated classes in humid spaces. Humidity will make like regular workouts seem like it's a million times harder. So one of the things that I hate about heated workouts, and I have nothing against them if you genuinely enjoy sweating that much, like I just can't with my hair and like my asthma, it's too much for me. If you genuinely enjoy it, I'm not here to yuck your yum, but I will say, just don't fall into the trap of feeling like that is the best way for you to lose weight or for you to like lose water weight or like any of those things, because whatever effect you think you are getting from a heated workout is likely just water weight that will return when you hydrate again. Like yes, you're sweating a lot, but it's not doing anything exceptional that you couldn't do on your own. So I think a lot of people have misconceptions about like what heated workouts are doing. If you love heated workouts and heated workouts are your favorite way, and they do make you, I will say the one benefit of a heated workout is it makes you more limber. Like you're a little bit more flexible because like your muscles are warm as soon as you get in there. So you may have more flexibility opportunities, but it is not necessarily the only way to get a really good, challenging, low impact workout. And I hate that they have become the default. Like all low impact workouts, you don't need to sweat buckets for a low impact workout to be good. So the heated workout thing just really kills me. Like I said, if you like it, that's great, but just don't feel like you're doing something exceptional for your weight loss goals or physique based goals, which is what I only bring that up because it's usually what I hear people say. It's really not that. It's helping you with water weight temporarily, but it's all going to come back because your body's working overtime to do a simple task. So that's my take on the heated workouts. I would love to see regular low impact mat Pilates classes come back. Not everything needs to be this whole like sculpt heated concept. Related to Pilates, but not Pilates, to be clear, Solidcore. 2024 was a really, really, really big year for Solidcore. Solidcore has been around since around 2019. Now, if you don't know the background story, Solidcore is a knockoff of Legree. Solidcore used to be a Legree studio. They had a falling out with Sebastian Legree that resulted in them branching out and doing their own thing. I believe it was around the time of the pandemic. And don't quote me on this. You can look at the lawsuit, but I want to say they had issues with like the speed of production of the machines or something like that, where they were just like, you know what? We're going to do it on our own. So they copied the machine that was the Legree machine at the time, and they created this workout. I say all that to say it's been around for a while. It's very similar to Legree, but in the last year, it became widely popularized. 2024, we saw the whole Solidays thing, which was recent, but also the tattoo saga. If you remember, I made a video about this on TikTok where they were encouraging people to get a Solidcore tattoo for like, it wasn't even a lifetime membership. I want to say it was like unlimited for a year or something. It was something small, not worth the cost of a tattoo or having something permanent on your body. Solidcore, it's an interesting one for me. I've done the workout a series of times. I did it most recently in December. I don't love it. It's not my favorite. I prefer Legree and the Legree machines, although the workout is somewhat structured similar. It does feel pretty different to me. So I personally don't love it. If you like it, I love it. Again, I'm not here to yuck anyone's yum, but I do want the girlies to understand that you do not have to torture yourself for a good workout. Like I think some people when they're like, oh yeah, it's the hardest workout ever, but the way that they're describing as if they are destroying their existence through workout concerns me a little. Like you don't need to destroy your body necessarily for your fitness goals. So Solidcore, definitely a big year. And we'll get into which of these 2024 trends we'll see beyond 2024. Spoiler alert, Solidcore is here to stay, in my opinion. So I don't think Solidcore was really a trend. It just saw a big adoption, I think, due to social media and due to some of their challenges and due to some of their press and things like that. But I don't think it's going anywhere. Next on the list, Pickle. Pickleball. I played once this year. I finally learned how to play. It has really quirky rules. Didn't love it, honestly. I the whole time I was like, this is silly. It just feels like big ping pong. And I would rather play tennis. Like, I enjoy tennis so much more. Something about pickleball just did not do it for me, but people are die hard. Like, people go hard for the pickleball, okay? There are in LA, there's indoor pickleball courts, like in the malls. Like two of the big mall shopping areas here in Santa Monica and Century City have pickleball courts. There's a lot of like pickleball social clubs. Pickleball is huge. I think they're like trying to make it kind of a country club-ish sport. Or maybe it's for the people that are like trying to feel like they're not country club people. I don't know. It, People loved it this year. Pickleball was that girl. Now let's talk about my 2025 predictions because this is the exciting stuff. Number one on this list is Hyrox. Now I learned about Hyrox recently. I kept seeing it pop up everywhere and I was kind of intrigued by it because it's a competition of sorts. So from what I've gathered about Hyrox, it's an endurance-based competition. There's different stations. You could do it by yourself or you could do it as a relay. People are traveling all across the country to do these. I don't even want to call them workouts because they're well beyond a workout. Like I think you run at least, I want to say 5 miles, something like that. There's like strength training stations, there's ergs and ski ergs and farmers carry. There's like a whole bunch of different things. It seems really interesting. And people are hooked. Like people, I believe it started in like Australia or somewhere else and it's finally come to the States. There was a competition recently and I think Anaheim, around here where people were flying. I was literally out in LA and I was like casually talking about Hyrox and like somebody overheard and they're like, oh yeah, all my friends from all across the country. So I love it. Kind of goes back to this like social fitness trend that we saw in 2024. I love the idea of community, building community around something. A lot of people have compared it to CrossFit, and I don't really think that's a fair comparison. They usually make that comparison because CrossFit also has competitions, but Hyrox seems a little more reserved on the safety end. Like it isn't something that they're not having to do crazy snatches or like these crazy things. The training involved in Hyrox seems to be more endurance based. So like doing skiers, doing things, doing running, doing like very basic standard lifts. So it doesn't seem as crazy from like a safety perspective. But I really think that's going to take off next year. Like it is something that's gaining popularity now, but I think it's something it's going to be the new like half marathon. Like everybody's like, oh, I want to do a half marathon. I think a lot more people are going to aspire to do these Hyrox competitions. They seem fun. I was kind of into it until I realized how much you had to run, and running is not my specialty. Now I have a lot of Pilates predictions because that is the space that I'm in. That's the type of movement that I do the most. The first is that we're going to see more studios offering Pilates plus something else. I think a lot more people are looking, they love low impact, but they're looking for a little push. They're looking for that sweat. They're looking for a little bit more intensity. So we're going to see more combo studios with like cardio and Pilates or other types of movement, like strength training and Pilates. I would love if I ever open a studio, it would be a mix between Pilates and strength training because I love the two of those together. But I definitely think we'll see more of those studios pop up. One of my favorite studios in the Bay offers, it's technically Legree, but Legree and Versa climbing, which is my favorite kind of cardio combos. After your like kind of controlled, slow, challenging movement, you get into something more like upbeat and high intensity. So we'll definitely see that. Another Pilates prediction, we're going to see a lot more people wanting to do reformer Pilates at home. Now, this is something that scares me. As an instructor, it scares me, not going to lie. I'm not trying to gatekeep Pilates, but reformers are so dangerous. If you don't know what you're doing, there are a lot of times when people think you can stand on it with a light spring or you can get on it a certain way. And there are so many cases of people losing teeth because they fall, they hit the side of the machine, or they break their jaw. Like it's so easy to hurt yourself. But I think a lot of people are honestly sick of paying for expensive studios. So they do the math and they're just like, maybe I should just buy one at home. So I definitely think we're going to see more at home reformer studios. Now, if you're looking for an at home instructor, if you want to buy equipment and you want someone virtually, hit your girl up because I will help you out. You should have someone guide you through it, at least to start out. So I definitely think we're going to see more of that. Related to the heated workout trend that I saw in 2024, I definitely think we're going to see a different kind of heated class in 2025. My prediction, I think we'll see heated ballet. Like, I think people are going to go back to like a fun type of movement, but they want something that feels like a workout. I could definitely see heated ballet or heated dance becoming a thing. It's fun, it's high energy, but the heat gives people the sweat that a lot of people like. So I definitely think that can happen. Another really interesting thing that I think the seed was planted for in 2024 is there's this desire of people to have third spaces, like a place for community, a place to meet, a place to work, a place outside of their home and their traditional office. And I think we're going to start to see more gyms be that third space. Like, for example, a lot of gyms now, they'll have a coffee shop in it, or they'll have like a WeWork space, or there's a really fancy gym here that has a rooftop with a restaurant and a pool. So I think we're going to see more gyms try to become more than gym and really lean into this like community element. And usually it's in the luxury realm, and they all kind of seem like if Equinox and Soho House had a baby. Like that's the kind of vibe they're going for. I'm definitely seeing a lot of them pop up in LA, and they're always positioned as a wellness house or somewhere to really meet like-minded people. And usually the way trends work is they go west to east. So I can see them start to take over the country as an ideal third space where it's somewhere that you can move your body, but also you can meet other people that like moving their body. In 2025, I think we'll see a lot of personalized wellness. Now, historically, we have like the personalized vitamins and like you can get a scan, a body scan, but I think we'll see even more of that. People doing the full package and helping individuals understand like what is going on with you and how can we help you create a plan, an action plan related to that. So personalized wellness, I think will be huge. We saw a little bit of this in 2024 with that Equinox announcement where they were offering some sort of like custom hyper personalized. You get a nutritionist, a personal trainer, a sleep coach, like all these things were like astronomical amount of money. I want to say it was like 24,000 or something a year. But I think we'll see more places wanting to offer tailored, personalized experience when it comes to wellness and not just looking at one aspect of your wellness, but looking at everything and creating a custom tailored package for you. This next one, I really hope happens. Like out of everything, this is something I really want to see in 2025, and that is women intramural leagues. Now, 2024 was huge for women's sports. Everybody was watching women's sports. Everyone was locked into women's basketball, volleyball, the Olympics, everything. Locked in. On the tail of that, I hope in 2025, there will be more women that want to join like community intramural leagues where they can play recreational sports. It's big with guys. Like all my guy friends are in basketball leagues or soccer leagues or pickleball leagues as a form of socialization, but not really for women. And I know because I've tried. I was in an intramural basketball league once and it was all men. And I played 2 games and I was getting beat up, literally. And I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm not guarding someone 6'4". That doesn't make any sense. So I definitely think we'll see, hopefully, more women intramural leagues off of a lot of the hype that we saw around women's sports in 2024. This next one is really interesting and excites the marketer in me, but I think we're going to start to see more fitness brands do non-traditional wellness activations. So you see a lot of like activewear brands do workouts or kind of typical in the fitness realm, a pop-up for the Olympics or sports related. But I think we're going to start to see brands be a little bit more creative about how they think about wellness and how they think about their brand. A great example of this is Lululemon currently has a drink at La La Land, which if you don't know, La La Land is this, I don't want to call it bougie. I guess you could say it's bougie. It's a very aesthetic, kind of influencer-y coffee shop. It's like all white, minimalist, kind of like this setup. But it is very popular in LA and they do specialty beverage drinks with a lot of different brands. It's usually like clothing brands or like small boutique brands, but Lululemon was a big step for them to do that type of integration. So I think we'll start to see more interesting brand partnerships outside of traditional. Because like for me, caffeine is a part of my wellness. That helps me be my best self. And like I am going to drink a little matcha in my cute little Lululemon outfit. So I think more interesting brands like that activations will be big in 2025 for sure. AI, we're going to see it in everything. I think we're going to see a lot more AI coaching. I've been surprised how untouched Pilates and similar modalities have been by AI, to be honest. I know there's one studio called F8 that does kind of like virtual, but I think there's virtual guidance on a screen to show you form, but there's an actual instructor there. So I could definitely see next year being bigger for like AI coaching and more tailored programming that makes it more accessible to more people. So I think AI is huge. I don't think we'll replace fitness instructors because like the knowledge they have through their training and like real life experiences isn't comparable, but I think you'll see a lot more of AI use in fitness than we have in the last year or two. The last trend I'm predicting for 2025 is exclusive gyms. We saw this with the Allo Gym and all of their success. The Allo Gym doesn't make any money. Like they don't charge people. You go for free. You're basically a billboard for them. They give you an outfit and you work out in the outfit. I don't know if there's social media post requirements, but usually the influencers or celebrities post that they're there. And they've had huge celebrities from the Kardashians to like influencers are on TikTok. So it's like a full spectrum of people that they bring in. I think we're going to see more gyms like that because honestly, it's more of a marketing thing. Back to my prior point, it's more of a marketing thing, a brand integration thing than it is an actual establishment where they're trying to make money from. They just want to invite models in to model their clothes literally for free. So it's kind of genius when you think about it. I hate the idea of exclusivity when it comes to gyms because I do think fitness should be accessible to all people. But as a marketer, I understand using non-traditional marketing means in the Aloe Gym and similar gyms that I would expect would pop up. Offering this exclusive experience would be a different form of marketing versus a revenue driver. So those are my 2025 predictions. I do have some things that I think are beyond just a trend in 2025 that I think we will see time and time again, year after year. We saw them last year, we'll see them next year. And here's that short list. Number one, marathons. I think people are always going to want to run marathons, especially around marathon season. It's just, I've even fallen victim to it. I used to run half marathons. I did 3 half marathons, and then my body was like, no more. That's when I tapped out. But I think that's always going to be something trendy. People are always going to be training for a marathon or like a long distance run. Second thing that I think is pretty evergreen that we'll continue to see, Solidcore and Legree. I think they're here to stay. I think they offer a really unique movement practice that can't be replicated. I say can't be replicated, but there are a lot of copycats. I think that type of movement is what I mean, where you're on a piece of equipment. It is high intensity but low impact. It's not going anywhere. Pilates also isn't going anywhere. Do I think Pilates also isn't going anywhere, but I do think Pilates is going to evolve to adapt to the trends of the moment. So, like I said, hybrid training, combining it with something else. Like I think Pilates will see evolution probably further away from classical. And maybe at some point the pendulum will swing back and people will be all about classical. But I do think Pilates is here to stay. It will just evolve a little or maybe look a little different. Low impact workouts, like I said, not going anywhere. People love not destroying the joints. It's funny because there's the marathon people and then there's like the low impact people, but everybody has what they like. I don't see those things going anywhere. Last thing, luxury wellness. This idea that wellness, and this is, it kind of makes me cringe because I think wellness and fitness should be far more accessible than it is. But this idea of luxury wellness exclusivity is always going to be a trend year after year. We're always going to see someone make an attempt to make something more exclusive or more premium. Somebody convincing you that something's wrong with you that you need to fix. So I definitely think that is something that we're going to continue to see time and time again. So those are all my thoughts on the 2024 trends, what I think will happen in 2025, and just general thoughts on fitness trends overall.